beat, but I don't think they were not gunning for it. Um, I just feel in these type of tournaments, if you don't do well at home, it's usually you know I, what was it? I think it's like 60%. 60% of the time it works all the time. No, 60%. Like what was that perfume? Panther. um, no, there's like the stat. I was seeing some stat, but it was like for Copa Libertadores, but it's pretty similar. So and it was like the teams that closed at home had like 60%. The odd 60% that they would win. Um, that's I think in games like this, and if you didn't win your match, you, chances are, yeah, the odds are just gonna be for the other squad.
For sure. We want to hear from you guys in the chat and, of course, on Twitter Spaces. We have our good friend and Cruz Azul fan, Abdias, joining us. Welcome, man. We missed you last episode. As a neutral, how are you taking this result? America getting eliminated in the Champions Cup. You're on mute, by the way. Abdias. Oh, he's having technical issues here. Let me try again. Hello, hello. Can you hear us?
Me? Yes. Now I can. I
There
had
we
a couple
go.
issues. Buenas, putos. ¿Cómo estamos?
Hey, man. Any day America gets eliminated is a good day.
A huevo. I've always said it. When America loses, all of Mexico wins.
That's right. Odiame más, right? That's their motto. And as a collective group, everyone celebrates when America gets defeated in the Champions Cup. And that also eliminates any possibility of them participating in next year's lucrative and prestigious Club World Cup. I think a lot of pundits, a lot of fans, a lot of Mexico is riding on the fact that, the biggest club in Mexico supposedly would be participating in the Club World Cup, but it will not be the case.
That's exactly it. Y te apuesto que les duele todavía más. But with that being said, does anybody have Ricardo's number? Because we might have to do like a suicide watch on him.
I think we're going to have to put him on the side of a milk carton, set up an Amber Alert.
Facts. He's been missing for a while, and I don't know, man. That shame that Americanistas have been having. They got to feel it because they lost against Pumas. They lost this one, which I've been saying it from day one. As soon as they got named as going up against one another, I was like, that's it, bro. It's game the fuck over.
You know what?
America's going to crumble.
It was Habibi that cursed America. He was giving them flowers. He was writing them hard, talking about dynasty. And soon after that, they start losing.
They lost the Pumas, right?
Yeah, it just started. It was downhill from there, man.
Yeah. I want to throw out a very interesting fact. In Champions League finals, Pachuca is 5-0, man. They have won 5. They have not lost a final in Champions Cup. That is a very interesting fact. You know who also has 5 that they've never lost before? Let's see if you guys know this trivia.
Monterrey.
That is right, Monterrey, the other Mexican club, 5-0 in Champions Cup finals.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
So they might meet each other.
They might meet each other.
Pretty interesting.
As a reminder, Monterrey lost the first leg on the road to Columbus 2-1. And tomorrow they face them in Monterrey at 7:15 p.m. Best Coast, West Coast time. So they'll have to turn things around.
But they have to win. If they win 1-0,
It goes to
What?
overtime.
All right.
Yeah, they did get an away goal. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. If Monterrey win 1-0 tomorrow, they would go through because they did score an away goal. So if they keep a clean sheet against Columbus and get the victory, they will go through. So we'll see how that goes for them. Columbus, not unfamiliar with Nuevo León. They did force Tigres to a penalty shootout and won. So that could be a similar strategy for tomorrow. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just bask in glory right now. America getting eliminated from the Champions Cup. I was pretty disappointed that they didn't crank it up to another gear as they were running out of time. And I think like the moment this game was over was Israel Reyes' red card. It was the last defender. It was going to be a goal. He gets sent off, and I think that was it. That was all she wrote for America. They had a chance in the last seconds of the game with the corner kick, but it was not a good corner, and that's all she wrote for America. How much weight now lies on their league? They ended in first place.
Honestly, I'm gonna say it just the way America functions and it's within itself. Everything rides on it. Can you honestly tell me that you see Jardine holding on to his job if they fail this season? If they get bumped out of Liguilla?
I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty drastic if you were to let Jardine go after what he was able to accomplish with America.
Sí, güey, pero you know how America works. You know how it's campeón o fracaso and all that other bullshit, right? So therefore, fuck what you did. Fuck everything. Remember, the regular season is preseason for them. So you failed in your season and the things that matter, you failed us. And you know how many gangsters are, man. You heard Ricardo. He sniffs his own farts. Like, they're crazy.
America ended the regular season with 35 points. If you were to accumulate Apertura and Clausura, they ended with 75 in 34 fixtures. I mean, they were heads and shoulders above everybody else in the regular season. And, for them to miss out on this title now that they're out of Champions Cup, I still think it would be pretty brutal to let Jardine go, right?
It would be. And now, listen very closely. I'm not here to say that they should let him go. I'm saying that these are the things that we're going to start to hear if they don't win the championship, if they don't win La Liga.
He won. He already has one under his bag, right? So I feel like he's sort of earned himself a little bit of an extension. I would at least give him another season, right? I mean, would you really just chop his head off after this? I think it's a little drastic.
I mean, the way we last move, I'll be honest with you, they're gonna be saying that he should get out. Like, I'm telling you right now, I know the way that side moves. And they're gonna start saying que fracasó en la Conca, and they're gonna be saying el equipo más grande de México, no, gracias a él no va a ir al Mundial de Clubes y un montón de otros de pendejadas. Like, you know that's how Americanistas work, bro. And the fact that you're thinking that they don't just means you're not well connected.
I want to hear.
You're staying in your little Chiva Hermano bubble.
I want to hear from America fans. I really want to get their side of the story. We have Daniel Garcia saying, didn't they let Turco Mohamed go after he won a trophy with America? They did. Like almost immediately, actually. He was let go.
That's exactly it. Y luego the way that they fumbled the whole thing with shit. El que está en Monterrey ahorita.
Ta- Tano?
Tano. Yep.
Yeah.
Like all because they didn't sign him to an extension before the preseason. Not preseason, before the liguilla. Y boom, se chingó. Se fue él también. Like America has had a few blunders and a few hot-headed moves
Mm-hmm.
that do come back to bite them in the ass at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at Pachuca's schedule. It is quite packed. They fell into the play-in position, so they ended the regular season in 7th position, and they play again just on Thursday against Pumas, if I'm not mistaken. So they are quite busy.
Bro, if Pachuca happens to win the liguilla, I'll be the first in line para mamársela a Guillermo Almeida. Is it Guillermo Almeida?
It's
Almada.
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 Wait,
That's it.
just
Almada.
him? Why not the owner?
Fuck him, bro. Because you know what? The ownership can do as much as they do, but the coach is the one at the end of the day que tiene esos pinches chavitos playing to a whole different level. He's the one on the sideline busting his ass off and earning red cards all the time. Why? Because he is asking more out of his players. He is juicing the fuck out of every single lemon that he gets.
But that's sort of like, I mean, not taking from what the coach does, but the club's like philosophy to play with youth from canteranos and to be protagonist. That's like a big part of the club's philosophy.
I don't know about being protagonist. I know about them playing with youth. And it's mainly
Yeah.
because they dismantle their club continuously.
Yeah, well, I mean that's their MO, and it's what works for them. Jaime was a youth. Someone posted a list of um, the most minutes of youth,
That's right.
and they're the top club.
So therefore, that's much more impressive as to what it is that the head coaches are able to achieve with that type of setup. What do you mean to tell them? Like you said it yourself, man. Your Lord and Savior, fucking what, Matias? When he fucking had nothing but youth, he sucked ass. Like it takes a different type of coach to have those type of results. And that's what Almada is doing.
Yeah, I just shared it. If you guys are on Twitter Spaces, it's the pinned tweet here. Head and shoulders above everybody else in the league, 11,000 minutes given to players under the age of 21 this season. I mean, they are almost double of the next club, which is Necaxa with 6,000 minutes. Chivas, shamefully, are in the 4th spot with 5,000 minutes. You know, the only team that plays with Mexicans is not leading with youth. So I thought that was interesting. But Pachuca, man, they are definitely doing some special things over there and some more salt in the wound for Almada. You know, I think he has shown that he deserved the national team coach job over Coca. And I'll be up at night wondering what could have been.
Well, if he wins this Conca Champions and then using stuff like all the canteranos, all the youth, he will be one of the names like that's gonna start ringing the loudest going into Copa America. And if Jimmy drops the ball, I do feel he would be a fan favorite, and a big chunk of the media will be pushing for him.
Nah, man. Fuck that. Like, if he wins Conca and he wins Liguilla, fuck you. You don't deserve me. Like, go somewhere else, man. Don't come to Mexico. Like, you deserve much better than that, right? Like, they didn't want you when they had the chance. They went for Jimmy.
Oh,
Go
okay.
elsewhere.
All right, Mike Jones, calm down, bro.
That's exactly it, bro. Fucking Mike Jones is bitch and be like, who? That's right, motherfucker. Mike fucking Jones.
Back then, they didn't want me. Yeah.
Mm.
I think there was a lot of politics involved with Coca joining, and
But it wasn't even the Coca thing when we did the course correct and then we gave it to Jimmy. And then we stuck with Jimmy.
yeah, I mean, he did win the Gold Cup. The players said that they liked him, so he's Mexican, right? It was just like the natural. But they did say he was interim. They did emphasize the fact that he was just a temporary solution, and that they ended up, caving into the media and the fans and saying, "All right, you guys can keep him." But I will say, man, this should be our national team coach for the next 8 years, and I don't want a catastrophe to happen in Copa America for this to happen. I think regardless
Yeah,
of what Jimmy does in Copa America, they should be really pushing for this guy because we're gonna be, the center stage in this World Cup. It's in our home, and you want to see the best. And under Jimmy
yeah,
Lozano, we're just gonna have the usual suspects. We're gonna have the Ochoas of the world. We're gonna have the Gallardos of the world. And Almada has obviously he's been believing and investing in the youth, and it's proven results, dude. If he comes out with the Conca Champions Cup and a respectable run in Liguilla, I mean, come on, dude. They have to give it to him.
yeah. I just wanted to comment. I know it's gonna sound anal on my part. The whole course correct. I don't. I don't see it that way. I just felt that, like you guys mentioned earlier, it was the politics of it, and for whatever reason, Iraragorri was allowed to. He was giving command, and then they sort of like set him up to fail, and that just dragged. You know, they used Coca to drag Iraragorri out of there, which I think that's where the FMF fails, because you see this a lot where we would have a good coach, and then they'll set them up. They'll set him up like La Puente, right? La Puente was fan favorite '98, Great World Cup '98, wins Confederations '99, and then I think it was 2000 or 2001 Gold Cup. They get eliminated like in the quarterfinal, semi. Doesn't matter, but they sack him over that. And this is one of the best coaches of all time that achieved an international trophy, and he got sacked over a Gold Cup. So it wasn't over the Gold Cup result. It was more political. To put in at that point was Ojitos Mesa, and they went backwards. And it's kind of the same where it's like you see someone come in and they'll take control of FMF, but then they'll get booted. And I'm gonna go even further back. Menotti, and geez, Menotti World Cup champion. You have the you have the World Cup champion at the helm, and they sack him after a year just because the wrong people put him in there. And it's kind of like that. That's how I feel with Coca that he was trying to do. I do think it would have worked out, at least to the point of the team would have done well. I don't think it would have been as bad as they were making them out to be, but that's just how they painted it. It just really sucks for that dude, because he was just he was turned into the boogeyman when it's really the federativos, the shit show, the bad management, the politicking going on, that it's hurting the national team. Um, so, but with Jimmy, yeah, and even like again, with the whole course correct, it wasn't even like because he was the right coach. It was just he was just what was there. Like, we just know we need to get rid of this guy, and then they're like, well, we don't know who do we have, right? And it's like they just opened the door and Jimmy was just walking by. Just you get in here.
It's like that
You do.
that one meme where the lady opens the door and it's the short fat guy with flowers. I don't know if you guys seen that novela. It's like
No.
surprise. But Jimmy was just like at the right place at the right time. Yeah, and I think this is a great result for Pachuca. I did have a comment from Pichichi del Barrio. He says that if Columbus go through tomorrow, they'll take the entire trophy. I don't know. It's a pretty hot take there. I want to hear from you guys on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces. Feel free to speak up. But man, what a match. 3-2. Pachuca get past America. Monterrey, Columbus Crew tomorrow for the second leg. And I think the final will be scheduled for June 2nd. I believe that's the same date as the Champions League final. So the soccer gods have definitely blessed us.
Wow. Pinches pochos, bro. I swear to God. Fuck the Champions League final. That is the day of the elections in Mexico. Okay?
So they're going to have to
elecciones.
reschedule it.
They might have to reschedule because if Columbus wins, Columbus plays at home. Therefore, the game can go on as planned. If it is an all-Mexican final, they will have to reschedule.
No. Pachuca winning has the final is going to be in Mexico because Pachuca won.
Not if Columbus wins because of the whole Mexican election. They will move the final to Columbus.
Are you sure?
That's what they were saying on the U.S. broadcast.
I don't know. I think that's just TUDN being salty, bro.
They pulled the lever and they're like, yo, tell FS1 to disseminate false information as well.
I'll say this, like, I was not enjoying the broadcast, at least the U.S. broadcast, the TUDN. It was all America fans, man. All the broadcasters, and you could hear them getting frustrated as the game was drawing to a close and like having to deal with the fact that America was eliminated. It did not go as planned. It did not go in favor of their agenda.
It's always America fans, bro. Like that's one of the things that every single time I watch on that network is just like, all right, cool. Here comes el pinche mame again for el America. If anything, I'll be honest, that's one of the reasons why I chose to watch it on Fox Sports.
Oh wow, what were they saying on the English broadcast?
Like I said, the whole thing with the Mexican election and how all of that goes into play, and how if it is an all Mexican final, they will have to reschedule. But if it does remain, like let's say Columbus goes through and it is Monterrey, they will reschedule for it to be held within U.S. territory.
Yeah, that's whack, dude. I don't think they deserve. There's no data. There's nothing to back up. This should be held on U.S. soil, bro. It's been such a dominant performance by Liga MX that it just does not make any sense.
I think Avias he's how do you say it? Diaz, you got traumatized by the League's Cup. Now you're just expecting like MLS getting more handouts.
No, like I'll be honest, I don't think Columbus is gonna go through. Like I
No, I'm saying that with the election stuff, like I don't think CONCACAF would object to moving the final to another day.
Well, that's the thing, but if they have a clear path without any resistance where this shit doesn't have to happen, they will go through that path. Now, if it does become an all Mexican final, like what we've all been expecting, then they will move the date.
I'm not so
Like,
sure Monterrey will go through. I have a feeling that they'll find some way to, mess that up. I know they ended the regular season strong, a 5-2 victory over Necaxa, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show.
I'm about to say victory. I think you mean ass pushing,
Yeah,
but all right, we'll talk about it later.
we'll talk about Necaxa later because there's some interesting developments there. But I think Rayados, I don't know, man. They've shown time and time again that sometimes, uh, even when they're expected to win, they fall short. So we'll see. I would love to see a Pachuca Monterrey final. I would love to see two teams that have been perfect in the finals go toe to toe, and having to have that loss on their record sheet forever. I have
Damn.
Rey Orozco, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's an America fan. So I'm curious to hear him speak up. Welcome to the show. Rey Orozco, the floor is yours. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah. Hello?
Hey,
Can
man,
you hear me?
welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. I thought that was a good game, and then I thought, what I like about this is that, the American media downplays the quality of Liga MX as a whole, besides Monterrey and Club America, because of the spending policy. But these guys clearly don't watch the league. These teams from 6 on down are quality teams, and it's great to see Pachuca back in this tournament, as well as they performed in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat of a shame that they won't be able to host the MLS team because playing in Monterrey, they talk about it's an intimidating thing, but like it's not as intimidating as them playing in like places like Pachuca or Toluca, which are even higher in altitude than Mexico City.
That's true.
Where Monterrey's fairly low in altitude. It's not like you're going into the mountains of Monterey. You're in the valley.
Yeah, it's a great point.
And then one other thing, real quick, and then I just wanted, and then you got Ryan Reynolds. I'm glad they invested into a team like Necaxa historically. I've always felt Liga MX has done a very poor job of ownership trying to get investment into the league from from American money. I've always felt that if they were ever to capture some of these high spending guys and lure them into Mexican soccer, you would see an explosion of money come into the league in a lot of ways. And so I think that's very good sign for Mexican soccer.
Yeah, man, you stole our thunder. For those that didn't know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob from Always Sunny have a majority ownership of Necaxa. That was announced just a day ago. I did have somebody on Twitter, Ceviche Overload, shout out to you, who tweeted at us and said that they are highly doubtful that Necaxa will get the Wrexham treatment. The Mexican culture is different. Not to mention they have to deal with actual powerhouses in Liga MX. Yeah, I think that it was such a random announcement, and I don't expect them to do much. They do have just a small ownership, so they won't really be able to do what they did at Wrexham and really transform the club, with the stadium and with the sponsors and all that. I really don't think they'll do much in Mexico, but hopefully they'll acknowledge it soon because they really haven't on their social media, at least.
Yeah,
Well,
that's.
I think
Dale, Rey, dale.
talking about Liga MX in that form it generates a lot of interest, I think, in general. I mean, well, the problem is that once again, there is no English language coverage. So, like, how do you if you're an English language investor and you want to improve this league in the English language content, if you want to put English language content out like of a yearly promotion or whatever, or or a yearly recap, right? Well, where are your fans? Where are you going to grow your fans if you want to watch? They want to watch their team. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. I remember really starting to follow Wrexham when they took over, and watching those National League games were not easy. They weren't accessible, but as soon as they got into League Two, most of those games were accessible on ESPN Plus, and it was a lot more easier to like follow Wrexham. But yeah, here for Liga MX, unless you have a subscription to like VIX and TUDN, you're not going to be able to watch much Liga MX. And to find content in English is going to be very hard, or broadcast in English.
Jaime, was Wrexham on Amazon Prime?
What's that?
The like documentary?
For Wrexham?
Yeah.
It's on FX and Hulu.
Oh, no. I have FX. Probably need to check it out.
See,
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
that's why I think Liga MX is doing themselves. Liga MX is doing themselves no service. You know what I'm saying? They've got to. These idiots got to come together. I mean, you look, the EPL owners, as greedy as they are, and as they look out for themselves, they're trying to implement some type of salary expenditures stoppage. So if those guys can come together in a room and figure it out, I mean, the Liga MX owners could go out here and figure something out, especially to the American market. It only has to be in the American market. Doesn't have. No one cares about English language coverage anywhere else in Mexico. I mean, no one's like. So.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think like. I think EPL is different in that it's like run separate from the owners. I think it's Mex kind of where it's the owners run the league. Like FMF is made up of the league owners. I don't think EPL is made out of the Premier League owners.
Well, they still got to vote on stuff. You got to get a majority vote to change anything. The Premier League owners got to come together, and that's what they voted. They voted on that salary spending. 14 of the owners had to come together and agree on it.
Yeah, but I think that's just being separate. It means I think it's easier to do things like that as opposed to it's all the all the owners sort of like it turns into more of a power struggle to see who kind of controls the whole thing.
And then you look at the Premier League itself. I think it's done phenomenal in the Spanish-speaking audience as well, being on Telemundo. The popularity within the EPL teams within the Spanish-speaking community that I live in has exploded.
Yeah, but even so, like still even here in the US, it's still Liga MX still the top ratings.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course, but I mean, but I'm just saying in general. I mean, as in putting the content out there and having it available to the consumer.
But see, look, when we see who the majority is watching, it's all the immigrants. Us here talking about it, we're a small minority of that. I bet if you look, if they close the border for like 10 years, them ratings would drop. Like all my friends, from like all my group of friends, none of them followed soccer. They all were into NBA and NFL, and they didn't really care
Well,
and we were all
I
first generation immigrants, and they just didn't care for it, and like their kids even it's gonna be even less. I mean, I think that's the
how
battle.
old are you? How old are you?
47, 47.
27?
No,
47.
47.
See,
Yes.
you're 47? Yeah, see, but I also think that the landscape of soccer from a popularity perspective at the youth level has dramatically changed in the last 40 years.
Oh, I mean, but it's
So I
always been the
understand.
most popular
I'm
sport.
similar. I'm
Just people will
I'm
play
very
it, just
similar.
not watch it.
Well, that's because it wasn't on, but the EPL television ratings are telling you that they're shooting through the roof. I mean, if the content is out there and available, I kind of disagree with that perspective. Now, all I'm saying is that you got to put the content out that's available.
Hmm.
I am an English speaking dominant person myself. I'm a third generation Mexican American on both sides of my family, and I grew up in a predominantly Hispanic community. That's why I fell in love with the sport right away culturally. But I understand that a lot of you, a certain percentage of my friends never fell in love with the sport, but I think that's dramatically changed in general, because just the popularity of the sport as a whole is particularly from a youth development thing. But I would also just like to say, just all I'm trying to say is that that implementing or getting those owners together and putting serious English language content out that's available to the massive. You clearly have a program that's working. You've been
Mm.
around for a long time, and I would really where would you fit your ratings on a weekly basis when it comes to downloads in the United States when it comes to soccer podcasting in general? Because a lot of my Liga MX friends who comprehend English listen to your guys' show.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's good. Good to know. Well, and I think one of the things I have to point out is Liga MX has sort of like it's not as good as it used to be. So it's very competitive and a good league, but I feel it used to have stronger teams, overall better. They used to bring in better foreigners too.
You had
I'll
higher
leave it at
levels of
that.
play,
There
but
you
one of the
go.
I
big
Yeah.
things is just the limitations that you have within the English market. Because let's be honest, everybody's interested in EPL. There's not many people who do watch Mexican Soccer League. Like I myself have been getting quite a few people on board, like the same way, talking about this podcast and things like that. And the few people who do watch the Mexican League, they fall in love right away. I've been talking to like my sales manager who loves the Columbus Crew, but has been watching the way Tigres and Monterrey play and America play, and he's like, "Yo, what's going on with these teams?" He's like, "What do you mean? This is like basic fucking form." And he's like, "This is what you guys watch like on the regular." I was like, "On the
Yep.
fucking regular, dude. Like, wait until you get the derbies, like the
Yeah.
fucking America Toluca, Monterrey contra Tigres." And he watched the Monterrey contra Tigres, and he was like, "Holy shit, was that an intense game?" I was like, "Dude,
Yep.
it doesn't stop."
No.
You know, so they're starting to become fans now. Like Ray was saying, yeah, access in the English language is absolute shit, right? The only way that you can get a sliver of what it is that we get to enjoy in the Spanish language is by turning on your SAP button through TUDN. It's not so much through Univision. It's through TUDN, where they will do a couple English broadcasted games. More
You know,
specifically, the
Yeah, but
English
Chivas
they
games.
that's not every single one, and yeah,
Hmm.
it's not every single one, and it's you don't like if see my thing is they don't advertise it in English, So how are you going to advertise
Yeah.
in Spanish to press your button when the guys don't even speak the language? So I mean,
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like the league knows that even if they do heavy advertisement, it's not gonna be. They're not gonna reel in that many fans. Almost none. Because they've tried through the years. They've done it here and there. So it's not like they just don't care. Like they have a good idea, and it's just not worth it for them.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
There you go, sir. Yeah,
I
because they have,
I
and I
I
know
just
you're
think
very
that's
confident in this.
I just think that's really downplaying anything. I mean, like, look, everybody's trying to. All of these foreign leagues are
Well,
trying to capture
cause
the
see,
American
cause it's
market.
yeah,
I
cause see,
mean,
well,
if you look
that's
at
the
the
thing. You're
Italian league, the
competing with
German
American
leagues,
sports too, and so that's already like it's very saturated market. You have the top American sports, and then here in the U.S., you could pretty much have access pretty much to any league. You could watch, go and see La Liga. You could see all of La Liga. Um, where I do think it might change, and that's with that where the new law that passed, where they're gonna allow games here in the U.S. from other leagues. So La Liga set to like play a game in Florida, and so if we start seeing that with Liga MX, where they start having some games here and there, like league games or league finals, I think that might bring in that could bring in more fans because now you could actually go to the game.
yeah, I think that's going to happen more than likely anyway. I think the first foreign league match is actually going to be a Liga MX game. It isn't even going
No,
to
no,
be
it's La Liga. Liga's already scheduled, dude. That's, they they're the ones that kind of that's how the doors got open. It was the whole thing. We covered it a while back. We were even making fun of Ricardo, and he was he was actually right. Um, um,
all
it's
right,
just
guys.
like
Thank you, guys. Have a
no
good night.
sabe.
All right, Ray Orozco. Thanks
Good
for joining
night.
us.
Good night. Yeah, no, like this straight up paisas are still the bread and butter here in the US. They're the ones that pay all that mad money. Like when you see moleros, when you see and it's like you kind of can't blame them. It's sort of like if you were really poor and you lived in, you know, in this small town where you, you don't even have a bathroom, you have an outhouse and you know shit like that. There's no roads because it's a lot of towns like that. And now you're working over here. You got some pretty cool job, and you could go to the game. You know, so these dudes sort of like like we might take it for granted that we've gone to um, events and whatnot, but for them it's like a lot of times is like the first time they're doing something like that. And then they're taking like their kids. So now they're giving their kids this experience that they didn't have as kids. And so they're willing to pay that you know that extra money for even if it's a mole game. But those are the people that are like the ones that have been keeping Liga MX very relevant here in the US.
You know what I would
I
like to
was
see? I would like to see a collaboration between somebody and LAFC, like Liga MX, like a Liga MX team and LAFC. I want to see Liga MX team host a official league match at the Bank of Carlos Vela because I think they have some of the best support in the league. And then I would like to see LAFC come travel to, I don't know, like El Azteca and see that. I think that'd be a cool collaboration. Official matches. And I feel like that would open
but
the
you
doors.
for like
But
a
then the
cup game,
question
you mean
is,
like the
do
League's
you
Cup?
think Well, if they're official matches, the question is, do you think anybody in Mexico City would go watch an MLS game?
Well, I
Yeah, they
think
mostly wouldn't.
LAFC fans travel really well, so it would
Yeah,
be
but at Azteca, dude, those 5K fans, I don't think they're even 5K. It was like
nah.
500.
You would
They're
probably
like
see
500 at Azteca, dude. You wouldn't see them.
Look, look, man. The only way that you can turn that into a banger is if you take LAFC versus Miami, and then you'll see El Azteca filled
Miami.
with fucking pink shirts.
Within,
No, it would
That's
have
the
to
only
be.
way that
well, you
you'll
don't
fill
need
it.
LAFC, just Miami America. But no, I just wanted to close off this thing because I was
Sure.
saying how the English language it's been tried before. Like they tried it many different ways, and this was maybe God, I kind of say maybe 4 years ago, 4 or 5, but they were streaming Liga MX games on Facebook. You could go to Facebook, and they were in English, and it's free to watch. Just log into Facebook, and they will have the different games. And me and Chiquis, we will go and go into the comments because the comments were live. Just wanted to see, dude. They were all in Spanish. And they were just complaining. They were just talking shit and complaining. I might still have screenshots of what
Yeah,
the
but like
people were
how
saying.
long ago was that? I feel like times have
Dude, like
changed.
4 or 5 years, dude. That's not
Even
that long. And
I will say, like, even 4 or 5 years, like a lot has changed. I would say in the last couple years. I think the sport has grown in popularity, and Liga MX has grown in popularity here in the States. And I think there's
yeah, it's
more.
about the same. No
I
behind me, because
I think
look
like
at the ratings have
uh
stayed
huh.
consistent for even longer at like 2 million.
I also
That's like the
think
highest. The highest if you see like of Liga MX. I don't know World Cup because I haven't checked like World Cup, but for Liga MX soccer, like in general, like an average, I should say, an average, it's about 2.1 million. It's like the highest. 2.1 million, dude. That's not that much. Comparing, there's like what? How many beaners is there here? Like 20 million or more? What? What?
So many that you can't count them.
Let me ask that
and
in a
how
minute.
many are using an illegal stream? That's another thing you can't count, bro.
Oh, see,
Aquí mero
that's where
papá, ¿qué
it's me
onda?
saying beaners because you're assuming they're all like
Yeah, bro, you're assuming we're all some bad hombres
yeah,
around here.
I'm just saying there's a lot of variables that go in here, but I would like to see Liga MX give it another shot. I think that they would get a lot more adoption, and I think a lot of it has to do with RIP TikTok. I think TikTok has also
Now,
helped.
Okay, wait. Here goes 37.4 million people of Mexican origin, bro. And out of those 37, only 2 million, 2.1 will watch the Super Clásico. Bro, just this year alone, more than 2 million crossed the border. Those are the ones watching Liga MX. Not the ones here, man. The ones here now, they're all like watching basketball and or
they're
like
trying to
music now.
assimilate as best as they
Or,
can.
or no, I don't even know that because I mean, I grew up in an like mostly Mexican neighborhood, and they, what was there to assimilate? Um, that just was like the most popular, I guess. Like overall, like not for the neighborhood, but it's still that's why I've been saying that it's been the immigrant population that pretty much has is makes the league popular, and it's not, and here's another fun fact. From all those 2 million, they're not all Mexican. It's a lot of Central Americans that also watch. So, ideas
Mm-hmm.
talking mad shit,
Mm-hmm.
and they're helping Liga MX grow. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I do feel if they were to like, because you said things change, yeah, they do, and it's like with having the ability to now host actual league games, I don't think they're gonna be hosting like clubs might host like one, maybe two out of their what is it, 16 games that they have a year. Uh, but then that could still be a lot if you that could be like I don't know, maybe 10 games, right? 10 games. How many games can you see it happening? Like, let's say America says we're going to host two games, one in Houston, one in LA. Chivas does the same. Pumas, they all do one or two for the year, not the year, for the season. How many Liga MX games can you guys potentially see being played here?
3 per
Dozen,
squad.
maybe 10.
3 for the big ones. So let's say Monterrey hold their games in like San Antonio,
Austin or Houston.
like that area, South Texas ish. Chivas, America, Cruz Azul, which are the bigger teams, hold theirs anywhere across the U.S. LA has to be a staple. Chicago, probably like I don't know, fucking Atlanta being the other one for a hotbed of like beaners.
And dude, I'm ready for that fucking what do they call it? Ah, fuck, dude.
Güey, ya, pinche goloso con el doble consolador. Cálmate, chiquis.
That's what it's gonna be. Double header. Yeah.
Ándale, ahí estás.
You
Brought to
guys
you
are
by
real
Manscaped.
way. Takes one to know one. No, they used to do that here. When I was a kid growing up, you go to Coliseum and there'll be a double header game. $20, dude. $20 back when America was great. $20 first come first serve. There was no you can say whatever the fuck you wanted as long as you got to the seat. Yeah, and you would have like usually a Mexican team versus like a Central American team like Olimpia or FAS, and then the second match would be the two Mexican teams. It would be like Cruz Azul versus Chivas or America versus whatever. And that was fun times, dude. You were there like 5 hours. My body's
those,
ready
and they
for
were
that.
always held at the Rose Bowl.
My body's ready, Diaz. Bring them back. I'll go see Pachuca Querétaro, man.
Oh my!
There you go. That's
dude, that'll be
literally
the
what it's gonna
warm.
be.
That's the warm up match, dude. That's the warm up. That's the warm up. That's everybody's getting drunk.
That's the game that happens on Friday that you get free admission with. Because you bought the main ticket.
Juárez versus Querétaro versus Tijuana, Puebla. Oh wait, they play each other, 10 times.
Don't forget Mazatlán Atlas.
Mazatlán, Santos.
Esos cabrones. Ahora, now to bring it a little bit more back home, right? Now with Ryan Reynolds and what's his name?
Rob. I forget his last name.
And Rob McKinney, I think is his last name. And Rob getting the majority ownership, you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to get a call from La Bomba Zamorano to tackle this issue. This is going to be their big input that they're going to have on the Liga. Because in case you guys don't remember or weren't paying attention, the new high commissioner of La Liga, his whole big thing is consolidating TV rights, which is what we just spoke about, and making sure that it's really just consolidating TV rights both domestically and internationally. And then, of course, they say the project past the World Cup. But the big challenge for him is putting all of this together into one single package. Now, having the star power that is Ryan Reynolds and Rob, they can try to work something there. Now, one of the other things to keep in mind is that Necaxa has been a fucking hot pod of investors, all right? Like, not 6 months ago, Odell Beckham was named as, a shareholder as well. Eva Longoria and a whole bunch of other people. Let's not
Mesut
remember.
Ozil, Verlander. There's a bunch of personas that are like in that, like, I guess, holdings or share, like, ownership, but it's a small stake. You know, the other 50% is, you know, the Mexican owner, Emilio. So like, I don't think that they're gonna have as much influence. This is not gonna be Wrexham 2.0. In fact,
That's exactly it.
I'm pretty sure that they're not even like, they probably just have someone doing their investments for them. They're probably not even aware that they have ownership in Necaxa, dude.
Like, if anything, the conversation is going to be, how did you find us? Why are you interested in us? How can we grow our product? What do you have in mind? And like, hey, how can we make it more accessible for the rest of the world? How can we do these things? And those doors start to become open.
I would have been more excited had they tried to do this at any other franchise, but the fact that they're doing it at Necaxa with all those other celebrities, I feel like there's like a lot of dilution there, and like they're not gonna have that much of influence. If they would have said, "Hey, we're gonna go invest in, you know, Toros Neza, Veracruz, you know, a team from the second division, maybe like an Atlante or something," I'd be like, "Holy shit, this is gonna be great." But the fact that they're joining like the rest of the celebrity club in Necaxa, I just, because there hasn't been anything since they joined. Like, you haven't seen
I
anything.
think Toros Nez, I think, would be one of the best bets, just because they're practically in Mexico City, and isn't their stadium a World Cup stadium, Jaime?
It was 86.
So, but I mean, I think they have a lot of the bases there to gain popularity, and they could do something if they were to do like the proper outreach in the community to get like all that people in that area, you know, to back that team up, just for that home field, you know. So you could have that that home base, and because just being so close means that if you're playing Pumas, you're playing America, you're playing Cruz Azul, you become that visiting team. So you want at least to have that, you know, that fanatic type fan base where it's like, even if they're outnumbered, they're still very vocal, and they still have a presence. But I feel that's a perfect team for something like that. I think Necaxa, they could always move back because they are from from the not the from Mexico, and very very storied team as well. But I feel like they had that conversation already, whatever Diaz was saying. And I think it's all like based on TV, and they know there could be money there through like Leagues Cup, Champions Cup, and all these other tournaments that could eventually be like um be like tournaments that are maybe hosted by like Amazon Prime or Apple TV or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, again, for those like wondering or starting to get hyped up, I would just take it with a grain of salt, man. I don't think they're gonna do much. Maybe we'll see a Wrexham versus Necaxa friendly, but that's about it. I doubt, because I think about their investment. They are fully invested in Wrexham, especially now that they've had back-to-back promotions. Like, they're gonna spend all of their money trying to get this team to the championship, which would be insane. And all of their followers and all their social media and all of their sponsors, like, it's all Wrexham, dude. Like, I don't think they're gonna have that much of a campaign with Necaxa. You did mention Amazon
No.
Prime. I forgot if the last episode we did mention that Chivas and Amazon Prime are pretty much securing broadcasting rights in Mexico, 20 million a season, and that is a very huge victory for Chivas and for the anti-Televisa people, because you're that less dependent on Televisa, and
Yeah.
this could propel Amazon to probably try to have more teams and have
Well, so yeah,
more bargaining
and
rights.
and eventually the league to be like, all right, if we sell the league as a package, we can all make more money.
Yeah, I mean they should be
You know,
looking
I
at
think that so mainly
the
that's be,
they should
because I won't.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you finish
No, I'm
first.
just saying they should take a, a page from MLS and Apple, right? They have an exclusive deal. I'm sure that they're sharing their, the numbers with them, and especially with like League's Cup. Like, I'm sure Liga MX is not that dumb. They're gonna try to maybe compete with Apple with Amazon
Yeah,
Prime. Who knows?
yeah. Because at one point it was just Televisa, and they basically would just cherry pick whatever games they wanted. So they'll go to a club and be like, your match against Pumas or your match against America, like we'll give you so much to air it. And the answer was always yes because it was like as opposed to like what not making that extra money. Um, and then TV Azteca came along, but by then like it was different now. Like you had contracts as opposed to like you know I'll just pay you when I want to air the match, and then it got to the point where Televisa had half of the league and TV Azteca had the other half as to like the matches that were being seen. And it's nowhere near like that because you have Claro TV, you have Fox Sports, ESPN, now Amazon. And you have like all these different um, avenues to see games, and it does hurt the league, I would say, and like in Max especially because it's just so hard to follow. Like I've heard you need to have like 3 subscriptions
Yeah,
just to be able to watch all the games.
my parents just got back, and I was asking them, hi, how were you guys able to like watch Liga MX? Like, honestly, it's really hard. You have to go to like a bar or somewhere that has like all the connections to watch, and
Fuck, dude.
especially like Chivas and stuff. It's not that easy. Yeah, but we're getting there. I do just want to shift gears really quickly and go over the last week of Clausura results.
Wait. My last thing there.
Yeah,
Even though it's being celebrated, I might have to throw some dirt on the Amazon deal. It's good to Chivas in that they're getting $20, but the Chiva fan, this shows Chivas kind of gentrifying. Chivas should really be open air TV, where if you're some little kid in some rancho out up in the mountains, that you're able to see the game. And so I think, and that's the club. Like part of its essence was working class and lower class.
mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it was built on. Now it's not anymore. It's kind of becoming very like
Bougie.
fresa. Yes, it is, dude. It's like you used to buy the Pirata Chiva shirt at the saw meet. Now you're getting it from Reebok, and it comes in
Now
a
it's
box.
like hipster.
It comes in a box with stickers and
And
bullshit.
now it's like hipster and cool to like root for Atlas.
No, so I like on its essence, like Chivas low key should have pushed hard for that open air TV, and they should have like negotiated with Televisa and gone back on like what's in open air. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know because of the whole politics going on,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
and they might not want it if America's not on open air. I don't know if they are. So that could even hurt
Yeah.
Chivas to an extent. In Mexico, I'm saying, where like you have all these younger fans that are not going to be able to see those games just because they can't afford internet.
I don't know. I think almost everybody has like a smartphone nowadays. Like, and I've trust me, dude. I have familia in like La Mesa, and that's in Jalisco, and It's in a town where if you're not like standing next to the antenna, dude, you don't get no service.
There's fucking ghosts in that town, Jaime. There's a lot
There's
of ghost stories.
no
Dogs on
ghosts.
the roof
There's
and
just a lot of.
outhouses.
It's just
Bro, it's not
La
ghost
Llorona,
stories.
La Llorona
No,
is
güey.
real over there.
Son las brujas, güey. Son las brujas.
it's just
Brujas y duendes.
nah. There's just
Well,
it's,
see, well, that's the towns I'm talking about, Jaime. If you're telling us an internet cafe, nah,
no. There's no internet cafe. There's just literally like an antenna for the whole town,
There's no shit.
and you have to
This
be.
motherfucker don't know anything about pueblos mágicos.
Dude, I've been to Guanajuato. You know, I've been to Pueblos Mágicos, but no. All right, dude. Even like the poorest of the poor have like a freaking smartphone, dude. And like they're on Facebook and stuff, so like they have
They
internet,
have the
bro.
equivalent of the Obama phone.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but I think, but I don't think there's like they could have a smartphone, but I don't think there's like cell towers. Like it's not as widespread in Mexico as it should. I think it will get to
Dude,
that
I honestly
within like
think
20 years.
I also think that like Generation Alpha, they are watching others watch or play video games. Like they're not even about like live sports anymore, bro. They're over here on some next level shit watching esports. watching, not even playing, bro, watching.
Watching
So,
someone play.
I do think that like those people like you mentioned that rely on the bunny ears to watch, you know, live sports, I honestly think that number is like becoming a minority. I think most people now have access to internet and they'll find a way, dude. They'll find a way. But we'll see. I'm actually I want to talk more a little bit about this like partnership with Prime and Chivas in a little bit. Let me just go over these results starting with Puebla. Puebla ended the season with 5 points and lost their match against America. They are absolutely pathetic. And ended the season in last place. After that, we had Querétaro and Pumas 1-1 draw. León Juárez 1-1. Toluca lost to Cruz Azul. Abdias, did you watch that match? We had
A huevo.
Volpi taking and missing 2 penalties in a row and both off the post.
Como pendejo. And the worst part is that in the second one, he could have definitely have tapped it in for a second shot on goal. Y
And he
se
slipped.
cagó.
Yeah, he slipped.
He just like, ay, no pudo. Por pendejo. But honestly, man, the best takeaway about that whole game was the defense of Cruz Azul. Fucking El Titan and Dita, bro, they're on a whole different level. Piovi got injured, but turns out he didn't get fractured, so therefore he'll be back for the quarterfinals. Like Cruz Azul is looking good.
I gotta ask you, my little conspiracy hat going on. What are the chances Volpe threw that game to let America end the season in first place?
I don't know, man. Like, okay, here's what I'll say. If Volpe whiffed those 2 shots, right, or he just like completely messed them up on purpose, the aim that he has is fucking ridiculous. Because I've done it. I'm pretty sure you've done it too. Do you understand how hard it is to
It's
hit
harder
a
to hit the post than it is to miss.
Exactly. And he did it twice in the same fucking post.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that like that was a mistake. Like that was
you're
intentional.
Ronaldinho and they just handed you brand new Nike Tiempos and then you hit off the crossbar 5 million times.
Yeah, but that's just because, you know, I think the magic was in his teeth, man. I think that's really what it is. There was so much talent within those teeth they were trying to bust out of his mouth.
I also have to ask you another question about Cruz Azul. You know, end the season in second place. I heard Huescas will not be extending his contract. He wants to be a free agent so he can go to Europe. Do you have any intel on that?
I do have a little bit of intel on that. It is the fact that there had, you know, and we've kind of talked about it a little bit, there has been interest for him. And in the past, just nothing has really happened. As of yet, Huescas has always been one of the top talents to be exported out of Mexico. He's had a great run in the Sub-23. He's been doing this and that. But I'll be honest with you, I am happy that he is not renewing. It is time for him to take that next step forward and try to find greener pastures elsewhere outside of Mexico. Like his talent is something that should not be held back and stifled in Mexico. Like, you know how it goes, man. Like, todavía es un prospecto at fucking like 26. And it's like, nah, man, he's a fully formed player now. He's not a prospect. He's not like to see what he becomes. He is what he's gonna be. He's fucking 26 years old. So it's the right time for him, man. I'm actually really happy that he's gonna be able to go. I know, and Habibi said it too. As soon as we saw him that he was gonna be getting consistent minutes and just kind of the way that he was playing, everybody said this guy's something different. This guy is gonna be something different. Keep an eye on him. And now here we are.
We'll see where he ends up. Hopefully, he doesn't get blacklisted by doing that. You know, the Pacto de Caballeros, as they call it, gentleman's agreement. Tigres.
Now, hold on, espérate, cabrón. One of the things that I do want to say is that at the very end of the match, there was a penalty committed against Huescas that wasn't called. All right, they chose to end the fucking match instead of going back to check the tape to see that there was a clear penalty that was committed inside of the box on Rodrigo. All right. If that would have been looked at, that would have given us the clear headwind.
All right.
We would have gotten more points. So
just my 2 cents. I've never seen a player get blacklisted like Pacto Caballeros blacklisting a player.
Pulido.
How? He's a Chivas. He went to Chivas.
He was black. I mean, after he did what he did, right? Tigres tried to sue him, say that it was he avoided, he breached his contract, and he was absolutely erased from national team call-ups.
Bro, he didn't play. In 2 years he played 14 games, and a lot of them second division. He didn't really play that many games with Olympiacos. So even I remember saying when Higuera brings him back, I'm like, that's quite the gamble, because this guy has been pretty inactive in 2 years. He was to the point that season that they brought him, he wasn't even registered for Champions League. So Olympiacos didn't even rate him that high. And I was like, it's a bit of a gamble. And the reason he cost so much was because they had to pay. Chivas paid both Tigres and Olympiacos. And so that's kind of where the pacto is. Because low-key, Chivas didn't have to pay Tigres. Yeah, we don't know your shit. FIFA had given the win to Olympiacos, which is kind of shady. I don't know if it was FIFA or there's another, but regardless, he still came back. So I think, and I think that the other part was, one of the main things was, and they had talked about it was like the players that are going to the World Cup, they usually have a contract already with the club. Like, I don't think a player has gone to the World Cup with like an expired contract or as a free agent.
What about Conejo Perez? He didn't have a team, did he? When he went in South Africa?
That's different though. Conejo Soares was like 40 years old, dude. That was kind of like Aguirre's boy. But like talking about a player in their prime, someone that is like super young. But it was kind of like similar with Torrado. Remember Torrado? He left Pumas a similar way. Dude comes back to Cruz Azul, massive contract. Um, and he was never blocked from playing. The Nigris came back twice. The Nigris also left in not so good terms, and he came back to Mexico twice. Um, there's been a lot of players like that. I really haven't seen. Uh, and then this is the other thing. Televisa pretty much, USA is kind of in control of that. Uh, I don't think they would. They would like do that for Tigres. Do you know what I mean? Especially if we're not even televising your eyes. Like, wait, you want me to do what? You know, and I don't think Tigres would be like that's just too much scheming just to try to get back at a player. Tigres eventually got their money because that dude came back, so they did get theirs. Um, yeah, but and then also you got to point who were like the strikers at the time. I don't think he was at that point uh, better than the players that were being called up.
I don't know. We'll have to go back and check the receipts. Let me pump through the rest of these results real quick. With Tigres beating Tijuana 4-1, and with that, Piojo's exit. He is no longer the coach of Tijuana, and we had Alex Torres say, Papa Emilio, make the call and bring back Piojo. His second America run is underrated. He had America running like a Ferrari.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, we'll see Alex Torres. I think it's pretty funny that Piojo is, he had a terrible campaign with Tijuana, but I know that he will be back in Liga MX. No doubt. That guy is the most employable coach in Mexico. That dude doesn't even have to file for unemployment, dude. He's already got another gig lined up somewhere.
yeah, he probably has like three. He's a good coach though. I mean, I think you could. You know, it's not like it's forbidden to fail, or that you can't fail just because you know, it's bound to happen. And we saw some of the stuff that was going on at Tijuana where they really were letting him build his own team.
We had.
You know what? I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
I would love to see Piojo in MLS, just to see what that style would translate over to in MLS.
I think he would do good for one of the LA teams, or maybe
he'd get
the
exposed, bro.
or San Diego, dude. San Diego, I think
Exactly. Like San Diego, a team who's like willing to heavily invest.
But exposed how? There's no relegation. There's no. It surprises
Like,
me
it's
how
a safe
defensive a lot of
environment.
times this league can be.
I think that he is a liability because of his short temper. MLS is a family-friendly.
But he doesn't have a short temper anymore. He's worked on it.
Nah, bro. This guy.
Have you seen his media training?
Didn't he pick somebody's eyes out last time he played against the MLS team? Like, this dude is
no, güey, le jaló el pelo.
Dude, this guy is a fuse ready to blow, and I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see him.
Jaime.
I would like to see him.
Fire.
Exactly. You mean to tell me he doesn't make for good TV?
It makes it makes the headlines.
We'll see. I don't know. Let me think about that one.
Because you're a coward, bro. You're too scared of the future.
Okay, so this is. I would say it would only be fun if there was two Mexican coaches. I know you guys said San Diego. There's some rumors around San Diego. They are an expansion club, and they
want to take Chucky, right?
They want Chucky Lozano. They want Ochoa, and they want Hugo Sanchez as the head coach. Yes, because he did have a stint at the soccer team out there. Yeah, the San Diego
Sockers.
Yep.
Yeah. He would go play there. He would play Pumas.
No mames, güey. Like, neta, fucking taking Hugo out of the oldest book in the shelf.
Dude, that'd be a great project for all of those people. And I think that if you were to have him and then maybe have a Piojo coach in LA, or I think that'd be a good rivalry to have.
You know what? That's a good place for Ochoa to go, especially since he can make them descend. Right? They can't get relegated.
With this dude, se mamó.
That is a safe place for Ochoa. He can't He can't
Who
get
would speak
relegated.
English though? I think you need to speak English. I don't know who or Piojo. I feel if they speak it, they would do good.
They don't need to
if they
speak English, bro.
Italian.
They got translators.
It's not the same though, man.
Dude, Bielsa did it in England.
Here's the thing.
Come on, no.
Espérate, antes de que empezamos a mamársela al Bielsa, ¿ok? Otro pinche episodio donde se la estamos mamando al pinche vato de Bielsa.
I'm just giving you an
¿verdad?
example. You don't need
my
language.
reflection. That thing's been polished so much.
Igual como es otro pinche episodio donde hablamos de Toros Neza. I will shit you not. I think that if Toros Neza ever came back, the two of you would stop being hermanos and go be fucking Toros. Like in a heartbeat. You would trade your white and red for a completely different kit.
That's just
se las maman
fun team
suficiente.
to watch, way. You tell me people were watching Querétaro when they had Ronaldinho. It just there's those teams that become everyone's second favorite team that you know gives you makes watching more of the league more fun.
I'm still saying it. Güey, nomás porque te gusta mamar verga no quiere decir que eres joto. Like, it's okay. It's okay. No tienes que tener pena. ¿Verdad?
Yeah, we'll see. To talk a little bit more about the rumors, Ochoa has been relegated with his Serie A team. That's his third club where he's been relegated. And can we just acknowledge that, dude? This guy for club is a freaking bum, man.
I'm about to say, what the fuck are you talking about? What rumors? Like, these are just cold, hard facts.
No, I mean the rumor of him going to San Diego.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to shield the whole fact that he relegates teams.
No, that's official.
Right.
He's been relegated.
I don't
that's
think
official.
he relegates teams. He plays in teams that are bound for relegation.
Bro, but you pick 3 teams. 3 teams.
I don't know,
This dude he's like a masochist, right? The people that enjoy suffering and pain. That's him, dude.
Okay, but look, if you go to those teams, the fans give them flowers. That tells you everything you need to know. Like if they hated his ass and were throwing trash, then I would say, yeah, this guy's.
I mean, güey, sí, güey, pero la bicicleta. Sí, güey, pero dime, la bicicleta del barrio, esa es la que todos los vatos se le trepan y la montan. Do we not give it flowers? Do we not güey, la chaparrita del barrio me la mamaba bien sabroso. No digas nada malo de ella.
All right. Taking my yellow journalism out of the way, let me just say this. It's easy to blame Ochoa and say it's easy to just be like, oh, he's the reason why this team got relegated. He's the reason he got relegated at Axio. And what was the team? Was it Malaga? What team did he get relegated in Spain? Was it Spain?
He wasn't even the starter in that team.
All I'm saying is clearly he's not the entire reason why a team gets relegated, but you do have to acknowledge that he was associated with those failures 3 separate times, bro. You cannot ignore that. That is a problem.
Oh yeah, just because he just likes playing in Europe, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it was Granada.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's bro, I get it, the title of playing in Europe and this and that. Y se la mamamos, ¿verdad? Porque no, ¿cuántos años ha tenido Memo en Europa? La consistencia y quién sabe tanto otro pedo. Güey, ¿qué consistencia? ¿Cuántos equipos llevas? ¿Cuántos has tenido que tienen que descender? Yeah, if anything, and we say it all the time, it's more his agent than anything. Because how the fuck do you sell someone who's yeah, he's failed upwards 4 different times?
Yeah. And is this the guy you want for the 2026 World Cup? You want this guy to be our starting goalkeeper?
Hey, he's my 5 copas.
He's gonna be 6. Yes,
Oh,
he has a lot of
it's gonna
character.
be my 6
He's not gonna
copas.
fold.
Do you
He's
really?
not gonna.
Granted, mira, güey, nomás porque tenemos que licuar su carne asada, no quiere decir que no se merece su lugar en la mesa. All right, Grandpa can't chew anymore, pero he still likes his steak. All
I don't
right,
know.
so
We need to start the
give him his
process.
flowers.
We need to start the process of replacing him. I'm not saying he won't be the starting goalkeeper in 2026, but I think that we need to start the process and start working on the next of kin. Because
I mean, if we're talking chisme, have you guys not, or did you guys not hear the mandate supposedly that FMFA gave Jimmy, which is give us new players or get the fuck out?
no.
Like, you can't keep bringing us the same players to the table. When we brought you on, you had pitched us an entirely different project with these up and coming players. So therefore, where are they?
Yeah, I mean that's news to me. I always felt that he was a puppet.
You know, so that was
Following-
like one of those things that came out
Following orders.
not too long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me finish these results. Pachuca Mazatlan 1-1. Atlas lose to Chivas thanks to a golazo by Piojo Alvarado. He has back-to-back games scoring some beautiful goals with his left foot. He is really in incredible form, and it's time we have a discussion of him becoming more of a player on the national team, because he doesn't really get the opportunity that these other players have had, and I think it's time for him to get a starting role.
Sir, I don't know what you're talking about, because when he was with Cruz Azul, he was a starting dominant player within the national team. Now, once again, the tragedy at Chivas took place and he went over to y'all, and I don't know what the fuck happened that his minutes dwindled. So, if anything, it's Chivas once again.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is he's having a really good campaign with Chivas, and we'll see what he does in Liguilla. He's really giving me those Adolfo Bautista vibes, man. And Chivas under Gago have won 5 straight, and he has accumulated 31 points. That's 4 points better than Paunovic's best season with 27. So Chivas are going into this Liguilla at the perfect timing. Like, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish the regular season, and they are definitely the hottest team right now in Liga MX.
Yeah, I would feel more confident if their strikers were more prolific. If Chicha can wake up, Gago learns to trust JJ Mack, or whatever striker just has to light up his ass. I think that would push Chivas over the edge.
I agree. We can't rely on Ricardo Marin to bail us out of trouble when we need goals. I also heard a rumor that, JJ Macias is unhappy with the lack of minutes he's had, and Santos have inquired about his services. There is also a rumor around Chiquete Orozco and Chucky Lozano being traded. So there's that.
I mean, for the record, if you were JJ Mack, would you not be upset? You're fully healthy. You're back. Like, you're
Is he,
ready to
though?
go, and you're just on the shelf. Yeah, he has said it himself. Chivas have said it themselves. Like, he is 100% ready to play. Like, he is fine. And now,
Well, I mean, because
Nothing.
for Gago, they brought Chicha.
exactly.
So he has to get the minutes now.
But Chicha hasn't even. I mean, he didn't really play. He was not even in the lineup. Not this game, but the previous game. And then he came
because
in
he was still injured.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, he's not losing out to Chicha. He's losing out to Ricardo Marin.
I just meant in like whatever minutes. are like
Yeah, I don't know. I
like
just think I don't
them
know.
extra minutes that the coach is willing to
There's got to be
like
something
the bombs
happening
he's gonna throw.
in training. I think something's happening in training that we don't know. I honestly think that they've been protecting Macias. They're concerned about him, re-injuring his knee for the third time.
Yeah, his value must be in the floor right now because who you know he was worth like 15 million at one point. He must be at the 2 million mark now.
Yeah.
He's gonna be seen as damaged goods. Too much of a risk. And then clubs would be more willing to just let his contract expire. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chivas does let him go in the transfers, you know, just because it's either sell him or risk losing him for free. So at least get get the 2 million or 1 million, whatever you can get.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Macias. It's really unfortunate what went down with him, and I have no doubt that had he been given a fair shake at any other club right now, he'd probably have more goals and better performances. We're seeing it with Alexis Vega at Toluca. He's like back to his like former self, doesn't have that weight of Guadalajara on him anymore, doesn't have that following like he did before, and he's brought Toluca to a third place position. And just like Destiny wouldn't have it any other way, we have that match against Toluca in Liguilla. I'm curious to know what version of Vega will face.
Honestly, I don't think that we'll be facing the prime Vega unless somebody throws a beer onto the pitch and he takes a swig. If that happens again, se chingó, guys. Like, la verga se le va a poner bien dura y te la va a meter.
Oh,
So, cuídense.
Yeah, it would be. I would not be surprised if Vega has a crazy performance against Chivas. That's just what happens, bro, with these type of moves. I also wouldn't be surprised if he does absolutely nothing, and he gets bullied when he comes to to Akron, and doesn't do shit. Yeah, he's done it before. Wouldn't be new, but I do like that matchup. You know, Chivas and Toluca go way way back. I feel like they've always been our boogeyman in Liguilla. We obviously got the better of them when we beat them in 2006, and I feel like things have sort of evened out since then. But I do like this matchup between Toluca and Chivas in the playoffs. But yeah, we got play-in action on Thursday. Necaxa versus Querétaro and Pachuca Pumas. Pachuca will be pretty depleted going into that match, but because they finished in 7th place, even if they lose to Pumas, they will have a second chance against the winner of the Necaxa Querétaro match. So there you go.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Honestly, I'm interested in what Pachuca does. Like just because they have the most interesting schedule coming up. Right? They play today, they play on Thursday, and then if everything goes well, they play again, what is it, Sunday?
Yep.
And so, dude, just keep an eye on that. And if not, pues chinga, Cruz Azul has a very, very easy match ahead of them. Because they're going to be playing with a tired out opponent whose reserves are going to be shit. And we'll see what happens. If anything, that's kind of the news right now circulating on Twitter is the fact that Ivan Alonso and Cruz Azul were the ones who denied Pachuca that extra day of rest.
Oh.
And accommodating their schedule.
Would not be surprised. Anything to get an advantage.
anything to get an advantage, and not just that is the fact that they I'm not gonna say slandered, but they made shit hot at the beginning of the season when Pachuca spoke about the recent departure of Ivan Alonso out of their institution and how all of those things kind of played out.
Mm.
And for those of you who aren't aware, he left under allegations of corruption
Oh,
and that he was bringing in players in order to receive kickbacks and certain other things, right? Players that were package deals.
wow.
And so there was some bad blood there.
Damn.
All right, let's just call it that.
Yeah, we're gonna have some great matchups. America to be determined who they'll face in the quarterfinals, but we do have Rejo Montano Clásico with Tigres and Monterrey, and Chivas Toluca, and Cruz Azul again will have to await their opponent. But I'm excited about this Liguilla. This is the first time in a long time that I see it very, very even. Like, we look at the finish of this regular season, America ended with first place, 35 points. Cruz Azul right behind them with 33. And, you know, America, everyone kept saying that they were head and shoulders above everybody. Well, if they were, they would have, you know, had a 10, you know, maybe 5-6 point gap between first. No, it's just 2 points. Then behind Cruz Azul is Toluca with 32, Monterrey with 32, Tigres with 31, Chivas with 31. I mean, the top 6 are within like fractions, you know? Everything is so even, at least in the top 6. And even Pachuca in the 7th spot with 29 points. Then you get into like Pumas, Necaxa, Querétaro that honestly shouldn't even be fighting for a spot at the playoffs, but here we are. But overall, man, I think like the top 6, it could really go to anybody. It's anyone versus anybody, and it's all about form and fitness. And I think as of right now, going into the quarterfinals, Chivas again have a 5-game winning streak. They look like a problem. We'll see what happens.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone looks like a problem though. Like Cruz Azul is coming in off a winning streak. Fucking Monterrey is coming off of a killer winning streak. Like the top of the table is looking strong.
Yeah.
Like let's see a lot of those chingazos how things fall. But like you said, I'm excited. I've been excited this whole tournament. Honestly, if we were even to go to old school Liguilla and just do the top 8 as of right now, I'm not even upset about it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad Liguilla. I would watch it. The only exception there is the fact that Necaxa is in 8th. 9th, really. There's been some shifts. Who's in 8th as of right now?
Pumas.
There you go. See, so if we cut it off at the 8th, we'd have America, Cruz Azul, Toluca, Monterrey, Tigres, Guadalajara, Pachuca, and Pumas.
Yeah.
No mames, güey. Pinche liguilla de sueño.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think
like
this is a very evenly distributed top 8. I like it. I like it a lot.
This is the liguilla that I grew up watching. Like, these are the teams that were always up there. You know, you're like, all right, cool. Like, we get it. We get it. Esos güeyes están violando. Well, except, let's be honest. Nos falta Morelia y nos falta, ¿qué? Tecos?
I think
but those were always at the bottom.
I think Atlante, you know, maybe Atlante. I don't know.
Atlante broke it in every now and then. You know what, dude? Atlante was always that, like, number 9 team that like se partieron la madre el último partido, but because another team won, they got bumped down.
Yeah.
And just like you said, we were watching or I was watching the games, and I just kept thinking, it's like, dude, this is the last game of the regular season. Like, I remember the madhouse that it used to be.
Oh yeah.
Everyone like And it wasn't even like trying to see who won. It was fucking crunching the numbers and being like,
I
okay,
miss
pero por
that.
cuántos goles?
I
Pero
miss that.
¿dónde está quién? ¿Dónde está el otro? ¿Qué putas está pasando? Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you don't even know what's happening.
No,
And you're like,
I vote that we bring back the simultaneous matches on the last game of the season. It's only right. You know, it prevents corruption and prevents any match fixing scandals because everyone's playing at the same time. And I remember some of the most iconic like moments where like I remember it was Puebla who were like battling for regulation, like they were just battling to stay in the in Liga MX, and then at the same time got into Liguilla. It was like one of the craziest shits that's ever happened. It's just like that's just what happens, but I don't know, man. That magic has been gone for quite some time.
yeah, and that just get that frenzy that you had that day of like, dude, the whole day felt different. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You don't even need to have them all at the same time. Just have them all in the same day.
Yeah.
Because I remember games that would like uno metía gol y luego cortaban para meter un pedacito del otro. Porque este güey metió gol también, entonces los otros tres de acá abajo se chingaron.
Yeah.
So
they need to do some shit like how they do the NFL red zone, where like a team's like on the verge of scoring and then they cut to that and it's just like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, that was fun.
That's the future, man. That's the
future.
wave.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, Amazon's gonna get with it.
I hope so.
And especially now, the fact that we're having so many different providers and it's being shown. Because let's be honest, on average, Liga MX has 2 to 3 games that are being played simultaneously at the same time. So therefore, why, if you're distributing and fucking TUDN does it the best, they distribute through Univision, they distribute through TUDN, and through VIX.
Yeah.
So those are 3 channels or three ways that you can get it. Now, without mentioning Unimas and Galavision.
Yep.
Which, if you guys remember back in the olden days, they used to put a shit ton of soccer games on Galavision.
Oh, dude, I used to watch Atlas play on Saturdays on Galavision. I used to watch.
That's it. They used to put a lot of
Tigres.
La Copa.
Yeah.
Copa MX was on Galavision. A veces un poquito de Libertadores.
I used to watch
you would find on Galavision.
I used to watch La Jugada. That was like my
show.
Was
it on or before AAA?
Wait, AAA was the whole day. It was like AAA.
And then
it was AAA, Familia Peluche, y luego
oh my God.
Era la Copa MX. Y luego después de la Copa MX, güey. Espérate, güey. Después de la Copa MX era Vecinos.
No dejabas la pinche casa, güey.
No, yo no.
You ordered in. Oh,
like I knew the programming. All right. Federico Peluche that's my hero. I'm still waiting, dude. I'm still trying to get that Peluche Cruz Azul jersey.
I'm sure you can make it or something.
I know. I've thought about it, but it's just the amount of effort that goes into making it.
Wait, is it actually made or did they just make it for the show? Or
they just made it for the show.
Bro, they have it on eBay for $94.
Do they?
They do?
Don't let your memes be dreams. Don't let your dreams be memes, bro.
You know what? Thank you for that, and our listeners will thank you for that too. We needed that.
I just googled the Familia Peluche Cruz Azul shirt, and it's like the first thing on eBay, bro.
Now I gotta look at it.
Oh, it is like the ugliest thing ever. But also, if you're Mexican, it is such a deep cut that you're like,
bro.
All right.
Imagine wearing that.
Swag, dude.
Imagine wearing that in the middle of the summer.
Shit. Going that in a game, yeah.
Me muero, güey. No mames.
No,
like I'll become that kid in Pumas asking for people to just shower me in beer.
Oh shit!
It's like, wait, bauticen me.
Hey, if you add up $300, you get this autographed one by none other than Eugenio Derbez.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wait, that one's one that you put on a frame and you put it on the wall. No. Yo quiero una para echar desmadre. Like, there's a clear difference.
That'd be your
You
ugly
could
Christmas
get
sweater.
one made. This isn't a difficult. You just
Bro,
go somewhere and
Go to
and
your
they can make you one.
local Joanne Fabrics or Hobby Lobby. You can make your wifey make that for you, bro.
Yeah, and then you just get that badge.
And then you just get
That's
the
gonna
badge.
probably be the hard. That's probably be the hardest thing to find
You can go on Etsy and
the
find that, dude.
matching. The badge from like oh yeah, you get a pirata shirt from then and then just cut it out.
exactly.
Look at that.
Yeah, this one was made, dude. You could see it was made.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's a little stitching. It seems.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
You can get that made easily.
That shit's still fire, bro. That
Tailor
shit
made.
is still
Tailor
fire.
made.
That's it. I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Etsy. I'm gonna find it on fucking Etsy.
Yeah, you will, dude. That's where I go typically.
The 94 and the $300 one, they look quite different.
Mm-hmm, they do.
One is darker blue. The $94 one, they did a better job sewing the patch. The $300 one.
It could have even been like one of those heated badges where it's just transferred. Heat transfer, yeah. I want to ask you guys a question. We're at the 2-hour mark, so I do want to wrap up the show pretty soon. About Santi Jimenez's future, we did see him and his agent at a Spurs match. We're not talking about San Antonio. We're talking about Tottenham and also Milan. And me and Habibi were on chat like, how does it go? How do you choose between those? Like, that's a no-brainer, bro. Obviously, you go to AC Milan, dude. That's not even close. Why would you even entertain going to Spurs? I don't understand that.
Well, because you would already be in EPL, probably trampoline to another EPL side.
That's literally it, man. Like, all that it is just cloud chasing, right? So everyone dick writes EPL over Serie A. So therefore, where are you going to go? Where are the most eyes going to be on you in order for you to make the next jump? Let's remember, he is still relatively young in his career. So therefore, he's just trying to get exposure at this point.
Which gives you even more of a reason to play for AC Milan because they will be going to the Champions League. Whereas Spurs will be in Europa League.
Yeah, but here's the deal, bro. Like, okay, cool, champions, but just overall, and you know what? I'll put it to you this way, right? The difference is between going to play in León to going to play in Chivas.
No,
right?
bro.
No, espérate. One market has a lot more eyes on it than the other markets do.
Do not disrespect AC Milan like that, bro. They're one of the most historic clubs in Europe, dude.
You know what? You're right. It's more like going to Pachuca versus going to Chivas. All right. Once again, it is there's less people watching, dude. Overall in the world, their market share is less than EPL.
No, but I think for him the question is, AC Milan is a big club, but is he going in there as a starter, or is he going there as like the third striker, and he has to like fight? And it's the Spurs could be like, we actually have you on our plans to be like our main striker.
Is he going to bench Richarlison? Because that's who he'd be up against at Spurs. I don't think so.
And who would he be up against then?
Timo Werner. Yeah. Timo Werner's at Spurs too, man. I don't see him benching either one of those players. AC Milan's not that easy either. Are they going to
sell one of them?
Giroud is going to LAFC, so we can already eliminate him from Milan. But they have Rafael Leao. They have Luka Jovic. I think there's less competition at AC Milan, dude. I have JP who requested to speak. JP, What do you think about Santi?
Personally, I think he should go to Tottenham. Uh, the way Ange Postecoglou plays his team, they play super attacking. I don't think Timo Werner is going to be a problem because he mostly plays down the left. Richarlison, he's kind of a meme player, so I know that they'll want a more serious player in Santi Jimenez, and I think an attacking play style fits him more. Plus, they give a lot of service to their striker because they were used to Harry Kane, obviously. And I think Santi Jimenez is one of those players that's coming back as a what is it, an old school number 9. The other thing too, AC Milan. Do you really want him playing with Pulisic? I mean,
I don't see a problem there. I mean, it has nothing to do with Mexico or United States.
I guess you're right, but do you think he would start with AC Milan? I think he'd bench Richarlison no problem at Spurs. I really do.
I don't know, dude. It's a tough call. I just know that with Spurs, obviously they are a banter club. They're not to be taken serious. They're going to be in Europa League. It's just like damn near a fucking lateral move. Whereas if he goes to Milan, he's playing Champions League football.
Yeah, but they have no viewership compared to Spurs.
Well, I mean, all of the rights are at Paramount, and I feel like people pay for Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I pay for Paramount, but I've never once watched an Italian game because they're boring. Even when Lozano was there, I couldn't stand a whole game.
Yeah,
Facts.
I just think he'll be a better player playing in a defensive ass league like it is Serie A. Obviously with EPL, it's more of a attacking, league, more entertaining league, as Habibi likes to say. But I honestly don't like either team. I wish he would probably hold out and stay, try to find a move in La Liga or get reunited with his coach at Liverpool.
I just feel like Mexican strikers do better in Premier Leagues.
We really haven't had much of a, we've only had, Raul and Chicha. That's about it.
Nery Castillo, Carlos Vela.
He's not, low-key, he's not Mexican. I mean, he's Mexican, but...
He's not Mexican.
I guess.
He's not
Joel. That's what I was about to say. El güey ni es mexicano. Es argentino. Los argentinos son la Serie A.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
it's true.
Y aquí viene el
It's
cabrón
true.
bien pedo para decir las mentiras.
I thought he was going to go
there,
to
dude.
Real Madrid, according to
The
Habibi.
food, he will be already acquainted with the food. He don't want shepherd's pie or English breakfast. He wants raviolis and milanesas, dude. He's
Nah, I think he's actually professional. I don't think he touches that stuff, man. I really do.
Danny,
but I mean,
wait, I want to have the Danny speak because he never speaks. Danny, what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, I do love Serie A because of Juve, and the thing is, historically speaking, Mexicans haven't been that good in Italy, Serie A. And I know Chucky won a couple titles over there, but one of the reasons why he won the Coppa Italia was because of his teammates. He didn't even play; he was on the bench. And it took him a while to actually get on
accumulated
for accumulated to the competition. And I agree. Like if you're able to do well in Serie A with that defensive style, I think overall he'd be a better player. But I'm also thinking with Spurs. I mean, I don't like either team personally, but with Spurs, at least they have more competitions where you can play like the Carabao Cup, FA Cup.
That's true.
At least get some playing time or something like that, or maybe send him in like the lower teams or something. I feel maybe he might get better development there. Surprisingly, that's what I think.
I think it, to me, I think I agree with all your points. Really great points. Except the development part. I think he's past that already. Like you're going to a team not to keep developing. You're going to contribute.
You can always
to be
teach
a
an
key
old
player.
dog new tricks. Thierry Henry talked about when he went to Barca and Guardiola was still giving him tips and he learned. He still learned, bro. A dog can hold
No,
me.
I know, but I'm talking like I'm not saying you can't learn stuff, but I'm saying at this point in his career, you're not going to a club to keep developing. You're going there to be like one of the main players, to be one of the key figures. You don't want to be there like a year or 2 years still like developing. And I don't think that the team would want him for that. I just think as Mexican fans, we're stuck in that hole. Like we feel that the players need to still be getting polished more and more and more.
Joel, what the fuck do you have for breakfast, man?
What?
What do you have for breakfast? Because you're speaking facts, my guy. You're speaking fucking facts. You think like, okay, Tottenham. What the fuck is gonna learn there? Richardson, Hong, or the Chino Korean, what the fuck his name is?
Son.
The fuck? You think Santi's showing up to play third, fourth fiddle? You think they're paying $50 million for him to be fourth, fifth fiddle? No way. In el pinche Milan, Giroud is going to AC Milan.
Yep.
They don't got a striker. Pinche Leao plays on the fucking wing.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a spot for him to show up and turn up.
Mm-hmm.
And Serie A, bro, as much hate as Serie A gets, remember, Cristiano Ronaldo did not score a goal his first 4 games in Serie A. And he came out and said, yo, this league's kind of hard. Defensively, it's a hard league.
Yep.
Pinche Hector Moreno went to Serie A and said, I never learned how to defend till I got to this fucking league.
Exactly.
So Santi can show up to Serie A with AC Milan and struggle for a little bit and then turn the fuck up, it means it's the right move. Pinche Premier League way, Harry Maguire, Ben White, Burns, the guy from Newcastle.
Rashford.
Who the fuck are those guys? Who are they? No, for real. In the grand scheme of things, will Ben White, will Harry Maguire, will them motherfuckers go down as one of the best defenders in history? No. 10 fucking years from now, no one will remember them.
I honestly think that
obvious. Champions League football.
Yep.
One of the best defensive leagues.
Facts.
AC Milan. How many fucking Champions Leagues AC Milan have? 7 or 8?
They're one of the best. Yeah.
Vete a la pinche Serie A con los italianos. They're fucking European Mexicans, my guy.
Exactly. He's Argentinian, so he's like basically like Italian at this point. I do think Milan is a superior city, has way more to offer than London. I'm sorry. And it would be better for his career. It'd be better for the national team for him to go to that defensive ass league and take back what he's learned and bring it to the national team. I think it's a no-brainer. It shouldn't even be a conversation. But I ultimately believe that neither league is good for him. I think he should go to La Liga. La Liga is destiny, bro. I don't know where he would end up. I don't know if he's good enough to go to Real Madrid. I don't know if they even need him at this point. But I would love to see him in La Liga.
Yeah, but like over AC Milan.
I mean, depending on the team, Atletico Madrid's not bad.
So it's only like 3 teams then, right? Barça, Real, and Atletico.
Or, hey, I'm just going to throw this out here. Bundesliga, bro. Dortmund, that'd be fucking dope, man. I want another Mexican at the Bundesliga. I want another striker in the Bundesliga. I enjoyed every single moment of Chicharito's run at Leverkusen. It was electrifying, and I miss having that, dude. I felt like the German league was good for Mexican players. I would love to have an excuse to watch it again.
You said electrifying. Ora, pinche joto. Como
it
que
was
electrifying.
Fun, bro. Leverkusen
Your hair
was
stood
fun.
up. You got a boner out of it. Calmate. It wasn't that serious.
He was in Champions League football. It was fun, man.
He was. And about time people respect Pichichi. Because, come on. You had Rafa Marquez, and then you had Chicharito. You had Hugo Sanchez, Rafa Marquez, and Chicharito.
Mm-hmm.
But some fucking chemos, some fucking huilas, they'll tell you a different fucking story.
Yeah. We'll see where he ends up. You know, I think he will be departing Feyenoord in the summertime. And Who knows, man? I'm excited to see where he ends up. I think it's time for him to move from that fisherman's league onto greater and bigger things, greater pastures. Because we don't really have that many Mexicans out in Europe anymore that I'm excited about. Everybody's returning home with their tail between their legs, including Chucky Lozano. I'll be extremely disappointed if he ends up taking that offer to go to the MLS. I'd be really disappointed.
All right, devil's advocate. If he says yes to Chivas, will you still be disappointed?
No, because he's coming to Chivas and it's a superior league. I think he can still hack it in Europe, but if he is going to return, do you really want him to go to MLS? That team's not even like established yet. They don't even have a stadium. It's like, I think they like if he was to become like their franchise player, I mean, we wouldn't really. I feel like he'd be taking a pause on his career. At least at Chivas, he'd be fitting right into this finely tuned machine that Gago has.
Yeah, but he needs to secure his future. So
his future is Chivas and Amazon Prime money.
6 billion, 20 million. It would all have to go for his wages. Chivas not doing that.
I'm just gonna say this, bro.
We're getting Orbelín.
We saw the leaked kits for next season. Chivas look like a goddamn NASCAR like jersey, bro. They got like 5 sponsors on the front of their jersey. It's disgusting. Then you combine the Amazon money that we're gonna get. Then we're gonna combine the Telemundo money that we get. If you're telling me we're not gonna get a Bomba signing, like I'll be extremely disappointed.
Hey, speaking about my signings, my sources, my people, that means the Twitter guy with 10 followers told me that Carlos Vela is going to Monterrey, man.
Oof.
Could be he hasn't signed that. Damn.
For 6 months, and then he goes to San Diego. Bro.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
I did hear about that rumor. I just don't buy it because he's a mandilon, bro. He does what his wife tells him to do. You really think
Monterrey?
His wife would like to live in Monterrey, one of the better cities in Mexico, for 5-6 months?
You really think he wants to move his family twice?
Dude, they don't have to move. They don't have to move.
Not from Cali to Monterrey?
No, especially to San Diego.
You tell me he's going to move his wife and
kids
2 houses to Nuevo León for 6 months.
No, you don't have to for 6 months.
And then move to San Diego because LA and San Diego are, you think they're close? They're not that close.
Nah, he's not even going to move him, bro. He's going to play there.
Yeah.
He's gonna
play home. He just plays home.
He's gonna
he'll fly his private jet for fucking 40 minutes and go
to
He's gonna play there, cheat on his wife, and then come home to the wife and kids on the weekends.
Dude, did you know Luis Hernandez was doing that?
Doing what?
When he was in the Galaxy, he would fly back to Mex like almost every week.
When he was where? At Boca?
No, Galaxy.
Oh, at Galaxy. Well, I mean, come on, dude. LA is one of the largest airports in North America, dude. That's an easy flight.
Exactly. So you're saying he can't go from pinche Monterrey to pinche LA?
I don't know.
It's a 5-hour flight, and that's like a regular. If he has a private jet, 5 hours ain't shit, dude. He could take the red eye, go to sleep in his.
All I know is his wife said no about Cruz Azul. So how is this any different?
How do you mean it's any different? Cruz Azul way. Son chemos. Son albañiles. Does she want to walk out her house and a bunch of construction workers staring at her? No, she wants to walk out her house.
Abdias, you're going to let him talk to you? Talk about that? About your baby?
Son albañiles way.
I mean, I wouldn't, but he's not saying anything that isn't truth. Like, we drink caguamas and we fucking catcall women. Like, what do you want me to say? I can't defend albañiles.
Well, what's worse, dealing with chemos or dealing with, what do they call that? The people that are into their own family?
No, here's the thing. It's just 6 months.
Cousin fuckers.
That makes it very doable. 6 months. That ain't shit. And he could fly home every other week.
It is popping in Monterrey, bro. Plus, it's either dealing with the cousin fuckers or dealing with the huilas. Los que todos hablan así, Kevin.
Chilango.
Yeah, and then with the whole San Diego, he wouldn't even have to relocate.
Oh, shots fired. Franklin Cap on YouTube says, "Good evening, everyone. Chivas remind me of Tottenham. Cheap owners that are top earners in their league." Yo, Franklin, that is a hot take, and those are fighting words. How dare you compare us to Tottenham?
Cheap owners. Just
wait. Can you repeat that one more
just,
time? We say cheap owners are what?
He said that Chivas remind him of Tottenham because the owners are cheap and they are some of the top earners in the league.
yeah. With the owners, Chivas owners historically never really had much money. Keep in mind, they never even owned their own stadium until recently. And then even that to me has been like their undoing that they have that stadium is what keeps them from not being able to have more money. So but compared to the big companies that own clubs, they're nowhere near the top five. It's their the owners is OmniLife. I've never seen a OmniLife product.
Yeah, Tottenham don't have any trophies, so I don't know what you're talking about there, Franklin.
Hey, Franklin.
I can see why it seems like Chivas have cheap owners, but historically they never had much money. Chivas never really was known for being big spenders. They never really did. They were for many years. They had a lot of how do you say socios?
Like associates?
Yeah, like a lot of people that because they were like an OG club. They were with a lot of
partners,
members, and yeah, they put money. So that's how it was run for many years. Yeah, up until Vergara bought the team, and that was like in 2002, and it changes. You could see the name change. It was in Spanish, and I know I'm gonna mess it up. So it was SADCB. One is Asociación Civil, and I forgot what the other one was. So I haven't seen that in years. But you could see in the badge the name change from Asociación Civil to Asociación. Fuck, where's Ron when you need him? But it changed to sort of like from to now like a corporation kind of, and now they were owned by OmniLife. And OmniLife's not really compared to like Cruz Azul, Cemex, Cruz Azul, I mean Cemento, Cruz Azul, Cemex, and FEMSA, and some Televisa, which is not just TV, they're media conglomerate. So they're radio, newspapers, magazines, all of that stuff. Yeah, they never had like massive amounts of money, but it's they kind of give them that role because they'll be like, oh, they get the most money for sponsors, like they get the most money for this, but then it goes back to the club and players.
It goes back to the owner's pocket, dude. It goes back to Angelica.
They did, yeah. They split that club, but no, it's.
Yeah, I just want to thank Franklin, man, because Franklin, I'm tired of hearing Joel say takes from 20 years ago. I'm tired of Abdias saying some Chemo shit, like a paint sniffer type shit. I'm tired of that. So, Franklin, I thank you for having the courage to speak up, to make a comment. It's good, it's refreshing. But at the end of the day, estás bien pendejo. If you ever compare Chivas to him again, that take is worse than when Joel said Cruz Azul was above Chivas. Yo pensé que esa es la pendejada más grande que he escuchado en mi vida, but you, my sir, to quote Abdias, have beat it. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you for commenting.
Thank you for commenting. Please come back again. Yeah, no, I think it's that's why we have this podcast, man. We want to hear everyone's take, even the ones that are really out of left field. It's refreshing to hear, you know. Um, I'm really basking in glory tonight. You know, we do have America being eliminated from the Champions Cup. Pachuca will face either Rayados or Columbus Crew for the Club World Cup ticket. And we do have Liga MX play in action on Thursday. So really, we are being blessed by the football gods this week. Kind of not related. Habibi, did you enjoy
wait, really quick. Here it goes. So you could look at the Chivas badge, and it would say AC on it, A.C, which means Asociación Civil. And then it turned into SACV, which is Sociedad Anónima de Capital Variable. So it sort of like went sort of like non-profit to for-profit. That was the change. So yeah, so for years it was sort of like a non-profit type with club members. There you go. Had actual club members, and you owned a stake in the club. And a lot of these guys also owned. They own like seats at the Jalisco Stadium. Like Chivas didn't own the Jalisco Stadium. It's owned by
like suites
or managed. Like it was like, yeah, but it was managed. It's managed by like 3 or 4 clubs. So the stadium. I don't know if when Chivas left, if they left their stake on that. I never like dug into that. But yeah, there was a lot of like socios, Chivas, like, so a lot of the dudes that sold when they sold to Vergara, they still had their tickets there. They're like season tickets, their palcos and all that, which was, I think, like the big FU from Vergara, which was like, yeah, you're not getting any money anymore, because that was like a way for them to make money as well, selling their seats. Okay, that was that.
Oh,
that's my hot take. What?
I was looking up ownership of Estadio Jalisco. So it is Chivas, Atlas, Club Deportivo Oro, and Club Universidad de Guadalajara.
Yeah, and it's Clubes Unidos Jalisco, right?
Bro, where the fuck is Club Deportivo Oro?
They're
I know their history. I know
they're third division
right now, present day. Where the fuck are they at?
Third division. Yeah. Clubes Unidos de Jalisco. Yep, that's right. Habibi, Real Madrid, Bayern, how do you enjoy it?
Hey, man. I'm about to sound like Ricardo. I'm about to sound like I'm foaming from the mouth. I'm about to sound like I have like no idea what I'm fucking saying. But the best way I'm going to say it, I saw this journalist. He posted it today. He said, when I watch Real Madrid play, it makes me feel like every tactical analysis, every fucking, everything I've ever done as far as like writing wise,
thrown out the window.
It's just a waste of time. And he said, and for that, I respect Real Madrid. And it's true, man. Like, dominated versus City, moved on. Fucking Bayern dominated today. 2-2, take it back home. It's just something that Madrid does. And you know what I enjoyed about it most? That some pendejo out there told me today, hoy juega el Madrid, hoy juega el América, hoy juegan los dos equipos más grandes del mundo, papá. And only one team took care of business. That was Madrid. Pinche América se fue a su casa y me la pela, papá. But, nah, man. Something about being a Madrid fan, man. It's crazy. But, no, el pinche América se la peló. El pinche Pachuca, bro. Hey, somebody run that shit back. Run the podcast back. I said Almada has to be the fucking coach, bro. Pinche Almada, he has fucking 8 windshield washers, a fucking Muslim, and a Venezuelan that's 38, 39 years old. And he's playing some of the best football in Liga MX, and he's beating the favorites to la doble. No mames, güey. Pinche Almada. Jimmy Lozano. Hasta el lado, pendejo. Almada, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
And who are they
Absolutely.
made the coach? Jardine, Jardinero, Mr. Gardner. That's the guy they're probably going to make coach.
Yeah. No, I think there needs to be a strong campaign over the summer for Almada to coach the national team, regardless of what Jimmy does, man. I think he is the guy that we should sign for the next 8 years, the next 2 World Cups. I think he's earned
think
it.
if you
This
want
about Almada, though. He should only be the Mexico coach if they let him do what he wants, which is not going to happen. Because I promise you, if Almada was coach, he would call a bunch of like youth players. Like he would do that generational change that everyone wants. But
I mean, yeah, I don't think going
They won't
into
allow
this
him
World
to do
Cup
it.
they're gonna allow that.
They won't.
Not going in because with the World Cup being so close, but I do see them for the next cycle. Like, all right, then you could tinker now, but I feel there's gonna be some players they won't let them. Like, you just can't leave these dudes out.
So are you saying que las directivas impose players on the coach?
Of course,
Yeah,
dude.
I think I do. Who was
Are you
Gordito was
saying
showing us? Wait,
FMF
just
is
really quick.
corrupt to a degree?
Oh, yeah, that's with that. But no, Gordito was showing us the Panini, right? The Panini. And yeah, granted, it does have for all the clubs. For all the national teams, and they're usually off by like what 3 players. I never fully put one of those sticker things, but I think you for Mex, they're what, like, I think top 4, top 5 national teams in the world for generating money, and so that's a lot of sponsorships they have, and a lot of the sponsors will have like their token player for the commercials, for the ads.
Yeah, who posted that in the chat that the Panini
Say
stickers?
Gordito, I think
El
it's supposed to be
Gordito. Más Gordito de
Yeah.
Chicago.
Shout out to Gorditos FC. Couldn't join us tonight, but yeah, we definitely are starting to get into the summer once Liguilla is over, and boy, it's going to be a busy one with Copa America, Leagues Cup, and also a lot of clubs are coming to visit. Wrexham's coming. You have Chelsea. You have Arsenal, Man United. It's going to be a great summer, lads. I want to leave you guys with closing thoughts. We're at the 2:20 mark. First, just your prediction on the play-in between Necaxa and Querétaro and Pachuca Pumas. And then any closing thoughts you guys have on tonight's episode. Thank you guys for joining.
Me first, because ya me tengo que ir. My curfew. So you said, who was the 2 teams?
Necaxa Querétaro.
And then
Pachuca Pumas.
I'm going Necaxa Pachuca. And my hot take was the AC and CB talk from earlier.
For sure, Joel.
I guess that means it's me, right? So therefore, honestly, Necaxa has been playing a better style of football ever since they changed their head coach. So therefore, I am interested to see how deep it is that they can do within the playoffs, most importantly the play in, and then heading into Liga. But I don't expect much from them, as I've said it before. Necaxa, Atlante, those Atlas. Sorry, Atlante is long gone, but they fall into that same category of teams that I expect absolutely nothing from. So therefore, sure, we'll see how far Necaxa goes. Now, the other one that I have kind of as a dark horse, just because I want to see them come in and fuck shit up, is Pachuca. but up to a certain point. And that's where I'll say, ¿saben qué, cabrones? Me la pelan y los veo en 2 jornadas. Because Cruz Azul is chilling acá bien sabroso en el segundo lugar hasta los cuartos de final.
Yeah.
So, pártanse la madre, desgástense y aquí los veo.
I like it. Abdias, thanks for joining us, man. Missed you last episode.
I know, man. You missed all of us. Like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. After that snooze fest, I'm happy that I chose to sleep that day. Porque andaba puteado de calamadre.
Danny, are you still with us? Thanks for hopping on, participating.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. Sorry, I just like to multitask when I listen to this podcast. I think Necaxa will go through. But just, I don't know. I think it might be kind of close. And Pachuca, it seems like they also have maybe a decent chance per se. But ultimately, my most important match, of course, waiting for Chivas Toluca. I'm excited for that one. And I hope we break Alexis Vega's other knee or something. I think it'd be fun. And that's my take.
Yes, sir. I like it. Habibi, predictions.
Man, first of all, I want to say, pinche Liga MX, güey, qué pedo.
Yeah.
Querétaro? Or is the Querétaro playing at Caxa because they won the most Friday matches, or what the fuck? Like, who has the standings? Like, who has the standings for Friday matches? Is that the reason why Querétaro's in Liguilla?
Yep.
Like, no mames, güey. Pinche Santos. Like, if you're Santos, Tijuana, pinche Piojo Herrera, que pinche Abdías, Joel, ¿cómo se llama este puto? Ricardo, se la maman. Se la maman al pinche Piojo. And even Querétaro finishes above Xolos.
Also, that bum Nacho Ambriz coaching Santos.
No mames, güey. Querétaro? Fucking embarrassing. But anyways, I don't know how Querétaro got this far, but they're here. They're there. I actually hope they keep moving on at this point. Ya que, let's make this the most competitive league in the world where the shittiest team has a chance to win the title. The other one, Pumas, no se bañan. Están sucios. Valen verga. Pachuca, who just played fucking 48 hours ago, is going to beat them. Ahí está, güey. Porque pinche Almada es de Uruguay, es pitudo. He's going to find a way out, man. Like I said, if you know how liberals say, what's the perfect world? Pachuca's the perfect world. You got a bunch of poor people. You got a fucking Middle Eastern. You got a fucking South American. Like, everybody's coming together, rowing the same way. Like, this is the world we want. A bunch of nobodies just making change. And then as far as Toluca and Chivas, pinche Alexis, way. This is the moment he's been waiting for. And this is the moment where pinche Piojo shows up y se la mete bien sabroso, way. But my hot take, actually, that ain't my hot take. My hot take is pinche Chicote, way. That's my hot take. You guys talk about Chicote?
Double agent?
Chicote Calderon, you guys talk about him?
No, we didn't.
Well, okay. Well, I'll talk about him, and this is my hot take. This is a lesson for everybody out there. If you guys are under 18, pull out your notebook, take some fucking notes. Chicote, man. Atlas. Besó el escudo. Kiss the badge. Necaxa, some bullshit. Went to Chivas. Besó el escudo. Kiss the badge. Went to America. Said that was the team he's always supported. Kiss the badge. What was he doing behind the scenes the whole time? He dated a bitch with a BBL who already had a kid. He fucking tatted the kid's face on his chest.
Wow.
And what did his girl do? Not only she dump him, she went on Instagram and said that he's ugly as fuck and she never loved him. So for any of you motherfuckers out there,
my God,
they're trying to kiss 3 badges that have 0 loyalty, I'm telling you right now, this is karma. If you have 0 loyalty to those around you, karma will fuck you up in the end. So be loyal. Don't be like Joel, who claims to be a Chivas fan, but puts Cruz Azul above Chivas, because karma will fuck you.
Oh
Don't
my
be like
god.
pinche El Chemo Abdias, who claims to be a Chemo fan, but he's always up with the up on what happens with America. Be loyal, be sincere, because if not, karma will fuck you over. And that's my hot take.
Wow, that is one of the best closing thoughts I've had from Habibi. That is incredible, man. I wonder if your girlfriend approved that. I will say that my closing thought is Pachuca will lose to Pumas. However, they do have a rebuttal match versus the winner of Necaxa versus Querétaro, which I do think Necaxa will beat Querétaro. So it's going to be Pumas going to Liguilla. And I think that Pachuca might have bitten off more than they can chew. You know, the fact that they have to prepare for a match in just 48 hours after beating America, I don't know if they'll have enough to beat Pumas. Pumas have, in the last 5 games, are undefeated. They've had 3 wins and 2 draws. So I think going into the match, being well rested, I think they will beat Pachuca. But I do think Pachuca will get in on the, I guess, like the runner-up. So they'll beat the winner of Necaxa, Querétaro. And then they'll face America again in Liguilla, which is what I want. I want to see that matchup again. I want to see them run it back and eliminate America again in another tournament. I think it'd be the most satisfying story to this Liguilla. Excited about Chivas and their 5-game winning streak. Hopefully taking a week off won't lose their mojo and their momentum. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. Thank you all for joining us on the Cantina MX podcast, and we hope to catch you in the next one. Good night. Hey, YouTube. Big shout out to Daniel Garcia, Alex Torres, Franklin Cap for your participation on the chat today. We encourage you guys to return next week when we recap these play-in results and, of course, the Champions Cup. We might have an impromptu Twitter Spaces between now and next week, so make sure to check us out on Twitter, Cantina Podcast.